Bon. Hello, hello. It be the weekend. Oh, the weekend indeed. Oh, for a second everything was looking smooth, and then it went crinkly. Sad days. Yeah, it'd be the weekend, so there's that. Sort of enjoyed my Friday evening, but it flew by, I guess. I was too tired to try and stay up overly late. I think it was only like 2 in the morning, and I was just like, eh, too tired. Oh well. Had my bath though. Yay. Was a good one. Always needed. They're always needed. Helps me relax and such, so yeah, always good for me. Yeah. Just a day, really. Yeah. Not much to say, really, about it all. I need to try and sort things out, but Lord knows when that'll be. Well, surprised it takes me so long to get through side missions. What can I do? What can I do? Like, I don't know. Was hoping it wouldn't have took that long, but it did. It took at least a few hours. I think there's only like a handful left after where I'm at currently, so might be one more stream for it. I don't know, honestly. Depends how far I get. Considering it's mainly story stuff I gotta do currently, should it be okay? I should manage to zoom. Then, by the time I'm done, it'll probably be close to Fatal Frame coming out. I'll probably have a week or two before it pops out, so I'll just find something, do bits in between. Oh yeah. Don't know why my doggo ends up being a jumpy bugger, but what can I do? I'm sure there's a reason for it. See if anything's on sale. Some stuff. Some. We shall see. Yeah. In Pragmata is April. Well, end of April pretty much, because I think it's like the 24th it pops up. So that's fine. My PC's very weird though. It has a very big safety net for if the CPU gets over a certain temperature of like 60. And it goes in hard mode if it goes over 60, and the light on the cooler starts just flashing red. But ironically, it only does it with like certain games, and if I put them, like, I can play games at 120, but it depends. Some games, yes. Well, actually, a lot of games, yes, but some of them are more, I guess, taxing, apparently. But when I look at, like, the temps of the CPU, when it's flashing, it's staying below 60, so I'm confused when it does that. It just does that to signify it was going over 60. It's very strange. Considering CPUs can work above that, it's a very large safety. But, that's fine. Very large safety. It's funny with Enfield. Like, I don't know, it ends up feeling like it takes a week sometimes just to get things up and running. People go, you don't necessarily have to have your characters at max and the weapons at max and all that stuff. And I get it, because it does cost a lot of resources, but I think I'm in the same boat as most people. If I see like dots, like red dots to signify you can do stuff, it bothers me. It's very hard to ignore it. But I'm fine doing it that way anyway. I'm trying to stick with like the same bunch of characters, although it does appear that masteries are going to be difficult. It does do it as like 1, 2, 3, so it would be 6 per, and if you were to master everything for whatever reason, that would be 24 to master one character, and you don't really get many of these. So it'd be pick and choose your skills, which is fine. I feel like that's a bit difficult for Ember. Her skill and combo are like her bread and butter, so those two definitely, but even her ulti is good to have. Or maybe I'll just go all in with Ember, because I like Ember. Don't know who else I would do though. Maybe Chen, because she always hits like a truck for some reason, which is fine by me. Not necessarily needing ones for the others though. Actually, Berta would probably be easy, because I mainly just use her pull in everybody's skill. So, yeah. Even though her ulti is also helpful. But, yeah, that's why someone was like, I'll just go up to like Mastery 2 rather than 3, because obviously then that's only 3 points. So you're using half instead of 6 per. Not a bad idea. Takes a lot of resources anyway to master people. Be nice if there was just a set crew that you're gonna be good with. It'd be nice if there was less characters as well to have to bother with. Apparently supports don't even need to be max level, you can just have them at 60. And I'm like, I get it, but what the hell? And while I do want to keep Endman up to date, they are probably the one I would most likely switch out. But I'll try and I'll focus on Ember at least. I'm definitely sure for Ember. I like Ember. I like the idea of what I've seen people do as well, of just having like block people so I can never be touched. It's not a bad idea. I do like that thought. It's just basically a defend button. And having multiple characters of defend is hilarious, in my opinion. But I haven't built Ember to be a DPS focused, if you want to call it that. I don't have the right weapon for it. But I like Berta. Just because she can like gather everyone in one point. Which is super useful. So yeah, slowly and steady, I just need to get the materials for people's weapons. I don't know if I'll do everybody's weapons. I'll at least do Ember's, because I don't mind the one that I have. It's a good option. And maybe Enman's, just because I know that blade is actually useful. Apparently it's the best for Chen, which I'm just like, oh, but it's also the best for Enman, so I'm like, great. I could swap out Enman for like somebody else, but yeah. Hey little beast man, hello, hope you're doing well. It be the Saturday. Good, good. Hopefully it ends up being a relaxing or at least calming Saturday. They are always needed. Lord knows how it'll go with my work side of things. If I'll still be doing covering, but we'll see what happens. Because the person I'm covering is having an investigation due to the fact that they've apparently been off too much. And I'm just like, because their mentality is work isn't everything, which, fair. They're still trying to have their life and just do work. So I can understand that. But yeah, if work isn't accepting of it, they could end up getting rid of her. Which would mean I would then be stuck doing this stupid job. And constantly I'll be told to cheer up, and I'm just gonna be like, you realise this makes me feel crappier. Rain! Hello! Hello, hello. Happy Saturday. I hope you've been well. Ironically, even though I think I'm okay with the team that I have, I still don't know. Still don't know which one I would go with. There's characters I like, but yeah. Well, good morning. I hope you had a good rest. Coffee. The start to a person's day. For many, a cup of coffee. I like the many ideas in Enfield for group things that go away from general matters and people just sort of doing teams that work. So it's like, you shall not touch me, and then just having a load of characters that block or parry when you're about to be hit. That's funny. I like the idea there. It is amusing. Then obviously having some singular damage bugger with buggers supporting him or her. I like that there are people doing challenges with just like one character as well. It's like, how does that work? Because it doesn't seem like the type of game that is built around having one character be good. Maybe it's just particular attackers or something. But if I could have like a small team instead of a squad, that would help on resources. But they're all near enough maxed anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Oh, but I suppose in the other stuff I need to do, once they're made, I guess. I just need to make sure I have the right buggers I wanted to focus on. Yeah. Because like making one character is far simpler than trying to make a squad. And heck, even doing 3 would save on resources quite a lot. But some people say don't build up your supports to max because there's no need, and I'm like, I get it, but it annoys me. But slow and steady. I'm not in a rush. I just wish I got more, that was all. Because there's been stuff with like, a lot of the time having Pog in the group with a bunch of others, which is fair. Then ones where it's like Ember and Snowshine. I think it was Snowshine. And oh my god, Catcher. Because they both have block abilities, which I find quite funny. So the person was like taking no damage because they just kept like blocking everything, and Ember naturally has a retaliation thing pretty much, so it's quite funny. But then I was noticing the other characters were getting quite hurt, so I'm like, does them blocking mean that they're taking the hit? Because if so, I kinda don't like that. So I'm guessing the skill to block takes a certain amount of damage, and then if it gets past the threshold, it hurts the person. But I like how mine is. Bunch them all up, because it usually likes to throw multiple enemies at you, usually. Bunch up all the enemies. Give them a good old smacking. And then hope you kill them all in time. I suppose specifically for boss fights I should maybe have a slightly different team eventually. Because they would just start as a single target thing, so that would be fair. Don't know who I'd use though. think I slept well though. I think. I woke up at like 10:30, but then I was like, I've gotten used to just making sure to rest a bit more. So I went back to sleep. It's my only restful day, so made sure to rest. So would have been close to like 10 hours rest. But I woke up at the 8-hour point. Sort of. Close to. I need to fiddle with the markets more as well. The thing where you can buy like stocks and go to a friend's place and sell for better, hopefully. I want to try it and see if it works. I'll go to try it and it'll, you know, you'll have the same thing as me or something, and I'll be like, oh, well, bugger me. Thank you for the head pats. There was a thing about butter. How the stuff that all these boards and, you know, the health and safety and all that other stuff saying what's good and what's not, well, most things actually not being good, and that's why health has sort of been in decline and that. Which is amusing. Although one of the butters that we sort of get here and there is apparently a good middle ground. It's not perfect, but it's one of the better ones. And it's like, oh, interesting. So, yeah, can never trust some big board to be like, yeah, this is actually good for you. It's like, is it? Because, you know, all these... It is tasty. I mainly just use it for my sandwiches, luckily. So, I'm getting bits of it. But, it's why there's been a rising problem of things. Well, one of the reasons why. And of course, these companies and corporations and stuff making loads of money from it, and then scientists who originally said that these things were good not backtracking on it, because if they do, then it will discredit their work, and obviously to a scientist that is the biggest thing. So they won't admit that they were wrong. So we're stuck in this wonderful loop of no one's wanting to change things. But butter is good. There are good ones. It's just, they're probably going to be a bit more on the expensive side. Shock. Yeah, I know in the US you tend to put a load of, well, yeah, a load of things that don't need to be in there. I think as well, like when you've had people who are used to what they've been brought up in the US, when they try stuff that doesn't have that stuff in, and the actual good alternatives, they end up not liking it, because they're too used to having sugar in everything. So it's just like, oh dear. But yeah, lots of processed things and that, never good. What do you do? What do we do? Okay. sofas. Yeah, I do well. It's the weekend at least. Yeah, they are quite relaxing to have. So are the clanging globes. Okie dokie Capricorn. Oh yeah. Second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. So the end of Feb is on a Saturday. Typical. Take that one. Hey Big Chum, welcome in. It is. Thank you for the headpats. Yeah, so the end of the month is next week. Cleaning do be important and a good habit to have. Hi Delphi, welcome in. Hope you're doing well. Means about 3 weeks for Fatal Frame 2. Yeah, it's fine. Can either find something small on my what's it days, or just have something just play randomly in between. Something small though, no idea. Yeah, no idea. So you have a lot of energy to spend towards others. It's too tiring to look at everyone, and it takes a lot of energy to start feeling that way. It's like if I wanted to change my jobs, I wouldn't know what to. It's like do something I enjoy. It's like the things I enjoy I can't necessarily make a job out of. That's an odd sentence to read. Pretty sure if I never grew up with a PC, I would have just, well, definitely would have been a very secluded individual. I'd be the type where I could live out in the forest on my own, kind of thing, not relying on technology or anything, just doing your stuff to get by from day to day, things you need for survival. That's about it. Again, that's too much energy to care about what other people are doing. As in, like, people I don't even know. As it is, I'm trying to move away from the typical things that are big and require your thingy, although I won't be able to move away from YouTube. Tries to stay away from Google as best I can, but kinda need YouTube, so stuck on that one. The other stuff I can not bother with though, so that's okay. Near enough fully moved away from PayPal as well. I don't trust that at all. Just need to set up a few things and then I'll be dandy. You say peaceful, eh? My stress at work would say otherwise, but yeah. But I know what you mean in terms of the online stuff. Besides, I am online enough with things, I just don't bother with the social media aspect of things, because, well, I was around before all that, so yeah, not really affected by it. I'm more of the old school internet. I remember the old internet, it was hilarious. Very, very basic. Those were the days where most sites were just text with maybe some images. You couldn't have too crazy internet, like pictures and stuff. Because one, sites weren't crazily made back then, and two, if you had things where they were gonna, if you had a lot to load, then your site was gonna take donkey's years to load, and that's not a good thing. Technically, just ask yourselves, why is it, and I know the government is starting to supposedly try and, well, they've always tried governing the internet, but think of why they allowed social media, why they allow it. But you know, hey, I think people still do enjoy cat videos and tight pants. What, as in how they look? That'd be amusing. Hello, Dirk. Greetings. Greetings. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, I'm doing okay. I like that when I sit down for ASMR, you know those types of people where they can't sit still? There is a thing for it. There is a reason for it. But the only time I act like this is when I'm doing ASMR and the chair is really low. I'm doing it to keep my legs not stiff, I guess. Don't know. Never followed memes, so I can't say. I remember the stuff before memes, and the stuff before that. They were amusing. They didn't really have a name though. I mean, no, because I had hay fever. I just played with my toys when I was a kid and used my imagination. You know, the thing that people should have nowadays but don't, because they're too full of crap from the internet. But no, I'd play outside here and there, and then we moved, and then I was just stuck indoors. So no, I was a PC gamer. I've said so before. I just played PC games a lot. A lot of PC games. Some very strange ones, and always a mixture. And anyone that chooses to believe that imagination is kid stuff is why nobody has any hopes or dreams in the future. It's good to have imagination. It's good to have your own will, so that you don't get pushed around by other people's ideals. Yep. Need to be able to enjoy life somehow. Hello, ducky. lock them in. Sniffers take a lot to do. Yeah. There's a lot of mentality of that. Praise be, nobody ever, like, hard forced their ways on me. Or if I noticed it was affecting me, usually in a negative light, I would rectify that straight away. Yeah, pretty much. Just shut up, ignore the nonsense. People tell you crap, it's like, okay, sprouting nonsense. Although, for how I am right now, whenever nonsense is sprouted my way, I'm just like, that's nonsense, that's rubbish. I end up just saying it out loud now. I mean, dolls are dolls. Pretty much. Just blowing. I ended up figuring what I actually liked. Few things. Like, not many, but still, I stuck with it. Although I still do get told now, obviously from work, that it's like, basically, why can't I be like everybody else? And I'm just like, because I'm not. And then I just get told, oh, well, you'll have to deal with it then. And I'm just like, well, you'll have to deal with me then, won't you? I don't compromise. It's Especially when they try and pin blame for something on me, and I'm just like, well, I'm sorry you feel that way. And they're just like, what? I'm just like, I'm sorry you feel that way. It's like, it's not how I'm intending it. I'm not going out of my way to, like, cause you grief, but it's just how I am. Like, I'm sorry that's how you're taking it. So notice that I'm never the one admitting to it. I don't need to suck up. They just sort of try to make me fall in line. It fails and they give up and just forget because everyone's got the memory of a sieve over there. Worse than I have. So, yeah. I do good work. So, because of that, it doesn't... ain't gotta worry about the other stuff. Everyone else is dumb and annoying. Yeah. Not even consistent. Yep, that sounds about right. Like the so-called... Yeah, you notice the sort of arguments they like to keep throwing at you. They're not even arguments, they're just more of like... not psychologically attacking you, but they try and make it like, you know, they try to use the group consensus thing to try and make you bend, and I'm just like, that ain't gonna work on me. I studied psychology. I know about that. It ain't working on me. I just end up saying the same things to everybody, and they're just like, they give up. So apparently I have more tenacity than everybody else. But, yeah. But they like using things of like, oh, it's common sense to do this, blah blah blah. And I'm just like, if it were common sense, everyone would be doing it. But not everybody does. If anything, using that as an excuse, saying it's common sense, is not an argument. I'm sorry. I mean, for a long time, I didn't really say anything, and I just sort of stuck with it, hoping they'd eventually leave me alone. But it kept happening so often to the point where I was getting annoyed by it. So slowly I was trying to like argue back, and eventually it was happening enough that I basically learned how to deal with those situations. Again, it took time, but I don't mind, because, yeah. Pretty much. There is no common sense at work. Common sense is like stuff that should be obvious to people, but as time goes on, common sense is actually becoming exceedingly rare, which is honestly worrying. Either that or people are just like not caring. Like, they just don't care anymore, so they don't bother. And still, by the way, I keep being told, why aren't I happy? Why aren't I smiling? And I'm just like, because you keep asking me every hour, every single day, what do you think? I appreciate being asked out of concern, or, you know, at least a checkup, but when it feels like someone's just doing a tick box, I'm not interested. I'd rather you genuinely be asking, oh, are you okay? Like, what's up? Not, you come see me, oh, everything alright? You're good? You're happy? I'm just not gonna answer. I don't respond with a yes. I'm just like, it's like, I'm getting by, I'm managing. It's like, I'm doing the work. Graffiti! Hello. Welcome in. Hope you're doing well. Yeah. Although, I think playing some Warframe, very nice. Yeah, I'm okay. Trying to find a place that is like decent to work at is pretty difficult in my opinion. I've had like a handful of jobs, but they've all ended up turning the same. And it always ends up being the managers. Like the managers are the ones that cause me issues. It's quite funny. It's the rugby. Hello. Welcome in. Oh, 68. Very close. Very nice. Hello, hello there. I hope you're doing well. Bonk. I'm bonking everything. Surprisingly, the task I've been given to do currently, I actually don't mind doing. I protest of doing it, but I don't actually mind doing it. It's okay for the most part. There's some stuff about it where I'm just like, ugh. But, yeah. Yeah, it's been alright. Been okay so far. My friend keeps trying to poke me in the eye, apparently. I think March time is usually when I go to cut my hair, because it usually starts to get warmer, usually. And then I don't have to have my hair poking me in the eye. Hot bean water acquired. Oh right, coffee. That's a interesting way of saying coffee. Hot bean coffee water. Hot bean coffee water. Oh, that's a word. Thank you for the ether charge. Still, minus all that stuff, I feel like if my internal mind is telling me to get on with some fitness, there's a reason for it. So I need to, in terms of fitness, I mean like going for a jog or something, because the main thing I need is stamina, which I know is terrible. Maybe I can ride a bike instead, because I much prefer to ride a bike than go out for a jog. But yeah, I just stay inside all day as well, other than when I have to work, which is majority of the time. But I know I need to do some fitness. Although my current physique is okay, actually. I wouldn't say it's overweight, it's definitely not overweight. And potentially I might be underweight, but I need to do some fitness. I can feel it within my body. I need some fitness. I barely eat anything. If I was to tell someone, I literally have my sandwich and my dinner, and that's about it, with maybe now and again a snack somewhere within the day. They'd probably tell me off and say, you don't have any breakfast, You need to eat more, blah blah blah. But I'm good. This works for my body. Sort of. I probably need to eat more for more energy. Your mum says you're chunky. I mean, it's whatever you end up feeling. If you feel like you need to do some, like, training or fitness, then by all means. But obviously it's very easy. Very easy? Well, it's very easy to stay indoors and laying down. Yeah, it's hard to get started, and then it's hard. Like, the first wall is getting started, and then even when you do get that, persisting with it is also the next challenge, which is also very difficult. Supposedly, if you manage to stick with it though, then it ends up becoming like routine and stuff. But I don't know how long it takes, because I remember doing fitness for like a month straight. Every like 3 days. So I do everything every 3 days, take a few days off, then carry on again, and I'll do it like that. And I did it for like a straight month, and it didn't stay. I was like, eh. Oh yeah, don't worry, I don't base it on that absolute nonsense of BMI. That thing, that index measurement is stupid. They still use it. They still use it though. Like, oh, you're this height, and you're this weight, therefore you're either under or over. And I'm just like... Because the BMI changes based on what country you're in as well. So again, stupid. That's fair. But yeah, BMI is stupid. Do you know why BMI is stupid? A good prime example. Take an extremely muscular person. Doesn't matter if it's a man or a woman, just a very muscular individual. Like, you can clearly see they have muscles. They have, you know, a 6, maybe even an 8 pack. They are strong. Obviously, muscle mass weighs more than fat. They could take that test and be told that they're overweight. Clearly they're not, because they are like physical peak condition. So yeah, BMI is utter nonsense. Like, you're seriously gonna tell this decked out person that they're fat when you can clearly see that they're just full to the brim with muscle? Rubbish. Like, you might as well just say, you have too much muscle. Always been twiggy thin since you were young. And you looked at the BMI chart and it said you were like 3 pounds from overweight. Rail thin with basically nothing to lose. Yeah, that's ridiculous. I don't know how close I was to mine. When I took mine, it said I was underweight. I can't remember by how much, but it's so silly. Most likely, but Wii Fit is well, you hope it be accurate, but again, if it's running off the BMI. You had a gym teacher who was a drill sergeant in the military, who was very much in shape. I'm obese on the BMI chart. It's not that important. Nice. It's like, yeah, guys, what do you think? What do you think about me? How do I look? And then it's like, yeah, you look flippin' amazing. Like, look at your muscles. And then, yeah, exactly. It's nonsense. That almost feels tempting to do, to be as muscular as you can, go have your, like, things checked, and then to be told that you're like, you're obese or something, and it's like, no, I'm really not, like, you can see that I'm not obese. That's fair. Understandable. In a different note, I get why, because obviously whales and pigs are usually quite large creatures, but in the same vein, they are absolutely wonderful creatures. Like, whales and pigs are honestly really nice creatures. But obviously that isn't what people are using it for. Just a side note on that, but yeah. Doctor said that I'm a beast. I like it, Feedy. I like it. There you go, get yourself trained up. Be called, let them say obese, but then take it as a beast and be like, oh yes, I am a beast, thank you. That takes a lot. Such simple words, but it's funny. You're sick. True. When languages change things, change specific words. You think you don't want to settle there? I mean, that's fair. If you don't want to, then you don't want to. Little whisper name for bread. Something about bread. Something about bread. I see. Something about bread. Oh. Something about bread. Something about bread. I hope it's not moldy. Something about bread. Something about bread. I went to go make a sandwich today. It was the tail end of a loaf, so it was the crusts. They were mouldy. It was a sad day, because I like crusts. But both of them were mouldy, so I couldn't use them. Like, if there was tiny bits of mould on, I tend to just pick them off, because, it ain't gonna, like, really hurt me. So I tend to eat them. But these two pieces today were extremely mouldy. I was like, no, my crusts. So I had to have just new bits of bread from the other loaf. Sad days. Loving yourself is hard. Yes, it can be. I think everything can be hard. You've got to go through things to change your mind, basically. To reinforce it appropriately. Ronan, hello, welcome in. Hope you're doing well. VTuber mold. It was very moldy. It was a sad day. because well, the way it goes is, when you go to love someone, what you're giving to someone is you, hence you're loving someone. If you don't like yourself, you're not really giving them much. Plus, if you end up liking yourself, and they appreciate the fact that, you know, you take care of yourself, it ends up extending. It has a passive. You're alive. I'm glad you're alive, Ronan. It's always good to be alive. Yeah, it's not an easy thing. Hello, Zeno. I'm just sad the mould is always on the crust. Like, I get it, it's usually the last bit of the loaf left, but it's like the best part of the bread. I love crusts. Yeah, good old bread. Fully enjoying your own company is impossible. Oh, because technically you'd still mingle with others to a degree. That's semantics though. I think for the most part you can be okay with yourself. Just varying levels for people, what they might need to... Like, you might be 90% okay on your own, but you need that 10%, and it can vary for people. The 10% might be that you need someone else, a pet, just simply talking to certain people. I mean, I'm mostly... Actually, if I think about the times when I'm happy, yeah, I'm pretty much always on my own. Like, the times that are usually more stressful is when I'm bothering with other people. But again, I'm me, so... Like, it's nice to hang with people. I don't dislike it, but, like, I'm perfectly fine on my own as well. But physically, when I'm dealing with people, it's usually very draining. which is basically my work, and tiring. But no one at my work is like a friend or anything. I only talk to them at work. There's some I get on with, but again, saying a few sentences here and there throughout the day isn't really much. Yeah, definitely an individual thing. Yeah, it's on your mindset, isn't it? If you truly believe you're not okay on your own, then, well, that's what you believe, so. It's like how, you meet some people where they always need to be in a relationship for some reason. I've seen some like this. Like they always have to be with someone to feel like they are someone, and I'm just like, oh, okay. And if they are out of a relationship, it won't be for long. They go and find someone else, and I'm just like, do you like the person you're with if you're just easily going to the next person? But again, individual. I usually don't really talk to people anyway, because everyone always keeps making assumptions, or I don't know, project things, and I'm just like, eh. And then some form of misunderstanding happens, and then there's just... It's why a lot of the time I end up not really just talking to anyone. Because they're very bad at conveying things, and then when I'm trying to convey things, people sort of go, oh, so this, and then I'm like, well, not quite. It's not like fully understood, because I can't explain it properly. So I just end up preferring to say nothing. The yin and yang. That balance. Yep, that's what I've said before. think on my bad days as well, like when I really just don't want to talk. You can't even not talk to someone because, in sense with my work, because I get bothered that much anyway, that if I don't speak, it's more of a problem, so I can't really win. And then if I try and keep it short and sweet, so that they leave me alone, they inquire, like, what's wrong, and it's like, I just don't want to be asked this right now, like, just leave me alone. Oh, ice cream van. What the hell's an ice cream van doing? Why? What? It's like been raining constantly. Maybe that's why. Very strange. I know, right? In Feb. Who? Why? That was very strange. It's expensive anyway. Like, if you were to have, like, a typical, you know, like Mr. Whippy or whatever, with a flake, it used to be like 99p. Now it's like, what? I actually can't remember. I know it's more. Is it £2? I don't know. It's gone up so much. I'm just like, I'm good. I could buy a box of these things for like a few quid. Well, imagine like you could get an ice cream for $1 or something, but it's since gone over $1. Now it's like several dollars to get like an ice cream. Mr. Whippy, by the way, is just like ice cream. I don't know, vanilla ice cream. It's nice though. Oh, okay. A couple of quid. Oh yeah, sorry. Quid pounds would just be money. There's many ways to refer to that. It ain't vanilla? It tastes of vanilla? Oh, is it milk flavored? Okay. That is different. And it is white, so yeah, it probably is milk flavored. Doesn't taste like the milk lollipops that you can get there. You saw a chicken breast for $2 the other day. You brought it even though you didn't go in to buy meat. True. $2. That's nice. They say the cost of living has gone up, but I call bull on that. Like, I think it's just these places have gotten happy at the fact that they get to charge us more for an excuse. And of course companies aren't going to lower. They'll say they'll lower some stuff, and now and again you'll probably get some deals somewhere. But yeah, they've never been any different. They're like, we get to charge more? Oh yes, the cost of living, yes, yes. Let's just take some good stuff, go into space. Well, I would say find a planet that's similar to the Earth, and they do exist, but there's none near this planet, so yeah. It would take more than a lifetime to actually get to one with what we've currently got technology-wise, sadly. Unless we manage to learn how to terraform a planet in a very short space of time. Yeah. Okie dokie. Such a 3-stream streak. Oh, but take care. Hope you have a good rest of your day. Pretty much. True. Supposedly we could fix the Earth, but I don't know. The Earth has too many problems. Not necessarily with itself, I just mean with humans in general. There's too many stop-start, like, things blocking the way, whereas if buggers can get to their own planet first, so say like China manages to get to a planet that they can do whatever to, they're well within their right to be like, this planet is under Chinese, you know, law. And the same with everybody else, whoever gets into space. So, you know, the US, Russia, a bunch of other ones in Europe and such. They exist as well. Due to the atmospheres? Wasn't Mars kind of similar to Earth? In the sense of, like, of everything else that is near us. Mars is like the closest thing we can do something with. But if we do stuff to Mars and people start living on Mars, you know we're gonna have a thing of, like, basically Martians and Earthlings. They will be people from Mars. And we will be people from Earth. Even though everyone would have come from Earth in the first place, but that doesn't matter. It's just how we get. And then we'll have semi-similar situations that we've had in video games where, you know, Earth is trying to control Mars, and Mars people don't like it, and they want their own freedom. Hopefully we never have a situation like Alien, though, where, you know, corporations find out this amazing creature that they could, you know, learn a bunch of stuff from, and they want to bring it back to Earth for some reason, which is just not a good idea. I think in general, if you ever find stuff out in space, there should be a law saying you're not allowed to bring anything from space, like, onto the Earth, just out of safety precautions, and it has to go to a different planet instead. That's how that should go. Or if you get bit, you're getting left to die because we're not taking any chances. Yeah. Because you don't know what you're gonna get from space. There's gonna be some strange things that people will get, and I'm gonna be like, no. Because that's how you end up screwing up Earth. Which, to be fair, as long as the planet itself does okay, I honestly don't mind. Humans do whatever they do. As long as the Earth doesn't really get damaged, then it, you know, it can carry on doing its bits and bobs. Or monster movies and alien movies are actual tutorials in case you get actual monsters or aliens. Did anyone ever see the film Mars Attacks? It was a funny film. Yeah. Could you imagine if we have something, yeah, something like that, where they seem like they're okay at first, but then they're just like, oh, you're the leaders of this world, so to speak. Okay. Die. It's like, oh god. Lost a Beatles movie because Disney? Where did that come from? Mars Attacks is a old film. Let me check. Whoosh. Yeah, it's like a film back in 1996, directed by Tim Burton, and it's Warner Bros. No, Mars Attacks. They did a remake of Mars Attacks? Oh dear. That sounds terrible. Yeah. A science fiction... It says black comedy. I assume they mean with the humour of it. It was funny though. God blimey, I didn't realise I had so many big names in it. Even I know some of these. Pierce Brosnan, Sarah Jessica Parker, Michael J. Fox, Danny DeVito, Tom Jones. Yeah, that film was funny. But could you imagine if we end up having something like that? It's like, oh, buggers from outer space who can do space travel land on our planet, seem kind of peaceful. and it looks like there's just an envoy thingy, and we're like, oh, okay, cool. And then they just like start zapping everybody. We're like, oh dear God. Didn't know it was a Tim Burton film though. That explains a lot. And then obviously after the leader does that, their fleet shows up. Yeah, good. Funny film. But they can't take our atmosphere, apparently. Because as soon as like their helmets are gone, or what was it? It was either atmosphere or there was a certain frequency you could end up doing and they couldn't take it and it made their brains explode. Something like that. I do not know of Mars Needs Mom. The title sounds a bit daft, if I'm honest. But that is an amusing idea of like all these films are just like tutorials preparing us if it ever happens. But I feel if there most probably are aliens in somewhere, because if we're alive there has to be something else. I find it highly unlikely that it's just us. However, I wouldn't want to mingle with this planet. I wouldn't risk it. I would just look at it, especially if I'd already attained like space travel. And I'm just looking, you know, you see this planet that has life, you're like, ooh. And then, hey Potato Master. Hello. Welcome in. But it's just like, if I saw this planet and how things were going, and how it's a very mixed bag of how things are being treated, I'd be like, let's just keep an eye on them for now and see how they go about things. Well, generally, they can do the nice ruling that Star Trek did, of they kept an eye on Earth, and they didn't mingle with us until we achieved space travel, like proper space travel. Which I think is the wiser decision, because that means we're at least knowledgeable enough to figure that out on our own. It goes okay. It'd be Saturday. Yeah, it'd be alright. I think I slept quite well, I think. Aye for the ether charge. I need to pour another drink thing. Thank you for the ether charge. I think I'm okay for stretches. Yeah. I know, I wouldn't say it's weird, because everyone always has like preconceptions and interpretations of a person that we end up seeing. So I wouldn't say it's weird. Brittany again? Are people picking on Brittany? I think the last time I heard any news with Britney was when she was, what, in a sense escaping from her father's control, I believe. That was the last I heard. That was about it. Three faces. One for the public, one for close people, and one only face. Ah, okay. The thing is, the people saying that though don't know Britney either, so like how you'll have ones that go to defend her, you'll have ones that will, well, say rubbish as well, because again, neither side really knows her. So again, it's just their own view that they're putting on the person. And yeah, there's supposed to be a thing of different, you know, personalities you throw at people. Mine's pretty much the same. It takes too much effort to have multiple faces. I never bothered making another face. You just have me. I do act a bit differently in groups, but that's like when I'm doing something physically. Because instead of just getting on with the job, because it's just me, and there's others helping me, I'll instead be... I'll put it as, when I'm on my own, I will think. When I'm in a group, I don't think. Because someone's there that I can rely on, so I don't have to bother thinking, kind of thing. It's not great, but yeah. Ah, I see. Yeah, it can get annoying when people keep throwing things at you, and it's just like, what's your problem? What happened to the days of, if you've got nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all? Like, it's good being honest, but again, like, don't be a dick about it. Men are forced to like us. Remember, men are half female, so it's not always a forced thing. And a lot of the people I got on with, or that I tend to get on with, are females usually. Ironically, I'm a bit more cautious with men. Actually, I'm just cautious with people in general. Guys can be okay though. Indeed. You're just there. No. You can end up seeing who's like nice and who you should bother with, sort of thing. I tend to just go by how a person is. I don't really look at if they're male or female as much. I'm just like, oh, can I get on with you? How are you? And then I sort of see how they are as a person for a bit. See how they deal with situations and how they talk to people and such. And then usually by that I get an idea of how they are as a person, and I can, you know, then I'll choose to either engage or, you know, just keep to myself. Plus I never usually know what people are with online, so I tend to just, like, go by how you speak anyway. Most tend to be nice. And then you have the ones that don't think. Those are obvious, but yeah. Yeah, well, that's not just guys, but yeah, when people talk to others like they're a thing or something, it's never acceptable, no matter who you are. Leave me out of it. At least with Twitch, I found that there's a lot more nicer people. In the sense of, like, because I hang around, or have hung around enough in other streams and seen familiar names and such, like, people seem very nice. Oh. But, yeah. I've at least learned to appreciate both sides. Took me a while, but yay. As long as I can be taken out of that equation, then that's fine. I don't want to kiss anyone, thank you. Nor do I wish to be with anyone. As I like getting on with the two I easily get along with is like blunt, direct people and just kind people, which I guess sounds obvious, but they're easy to get on with. Maybe not the blunt one, because I know blunt doesn't work for everybody, but it works for me. For everyone else. I only ever had to wish that once for one person. Hard to say. Can't really use the people I know at work, because half the time a good portion just never listen. Nobody listens, so I'm just like... makes it very hard to talk in general. So I think I just yell at people now. Well, my version of yelling. I yell so people can hear me, else no one hears me. Event shy. Yeah. Guys are definitely nice too. Yeah, like I said, I'm just bad at trying to properly explain things, so it ends up... Things can be taken the other way sometimes when I say things. Ironically, I find it great when things get in the awkward part, because I don't feel the awkwardness. So I'm there, and especially if there's like a long pause because maybe it made others feel awkward, and I'm there and I'm like, oh. And I just smile and laugh at the situation. Then proceed to call people a dozy mare. Keeps things rolling. Hello, writer. Welcome in. It goes well. It's the weekend, so happy days there. Hope you're doing well. Be right back. Thank you, thank you. The Wii was funny when it came out. People were trying so hard to get that console, because it kept being sold out everywhere. Hey Toby. Welcome in. Yeah, it goes okay. How are you doing? Did you have some good rest? I'm now thinking of food. Thank you for the follow. Thank you kindly. Considering when I usually stream, yeah, I think I am usually as well. Although I have eaten a few times before I started streaming, which was, well, nice because I wasn't hungry during it, but yeah. gentle brushes. It's the ear pick usually. But they're very gentle, so. And yeah, they're making a new Dead or Alive, aren't they? Number 7. It's had some time off. And thank you for the follow. Thank you kindly. Magenta. 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 Yeah. Dead or Alive was okay. And then they did weird things with it. I remember owning the whole game, and then one day I suddenly didn't have the game, and it was broken up into bits. And I had to, if I wanted the whole game again and all the characters, I had to purchase this thing, and I was like, no. Yeah, they did weird monetization thingies with it. But the teaser for Dead or Alive 7 is, well, it's typical, I guess. Got like Hayabusa, and then Katsumi's there, but you don't really see that it's meant to be an iconic thing though. I've seen like the mouth, so to speak. I say iconic. It's been used before for her, but yeah, it goes from a low angle past her bust, of course, and then stops around her nose, so you just see the lower half of the face, and I'm like, oh, okay. But not all fighting games are the same. They all play a bit differently and focus on different things of how they work. So, Dead or Alive's was... What was Dead or Alive's? It's been a long time. Was it counters? It liked to focus on counters and counters, countering the counters. Because you know, some might focus on parrying, some might focus on counters, others like to focus on really long combos, kind of like how Street Fighter does. Yeah. Hopefully they just release a whole game rather than splitting it up into sections. Yeah, it's very hard to do a counter to the counter. I mean, obviously when the initial counter happens, it's kind of like, it's not for all counters, but there's some where if you know what type of counter they're doing, then you can, like, hit the right buttons at the right time, and it sort of stops them doing their move. And you're like, yes, take it. Yeah, fighting games aren't my cup of tea either, usually. It's one of my least favourite of the bunch. Fighting games and, like, platformers are, like, my weakest. Dead or Alive, I made the exception back then. I don't think it was 3. I think it was Dead or Alive 4. The stuff I usually enjoy from a fighting game is like the other modes they tend to put in the game. So like, I don't necessarily enjoy fighting other people online. I tend to like the little modes they put in. So whether it be an arcade mode or one of the Mortal Kombat games, one of the older ones, put in like Tetris. And honestly, I played that a lot more than I thought, because you were effectively just playing Tetris, just with Mortal Kombat powers that you could use when they were ready, which was pretty cool, and depending on the character that you were, depended on the power that got used. Like, it was just a variation of Tetris. It was quite fun. I played that more than the actual fighting game. Can't go wrong with Tetris. But I think Dead or Alive 4, if it was back on the 360, was the one that I played, and the story mode was quite fun. It had it where at the end of each character they all had their own ending, like CGI ending, which was cool. Katsumi's was like, she was a mermaid that was swimming around with the fishies, to then you find that she was dreaming and she was just wrapped up in her bed. And yeah, fun times there. Hitomi had it where she was making breakfast, and I think she was making like an omelette and other stuff and slicing things and all that stuff. Ayane had it where she was with Hayate and they were destroying some complex thingy and they managed to get out of there in time, I think. It's pretty cool. There was a bunch of others, but they're like the ones I remember. Nowadays they wouldn't do that sort of thing. You know why? Because of the amount of fan service that was technically in those shorts. Lots of like side and under booba, which Twitch would not be happy about. Quite funny. I think Ryu had a cool one where he was sort of like hopping between buildings and doing cool ninja stuff and bringing victory. How many characters are in it? Good question. A lot. When I played it, there was at least 20 or 30, maybe? Between that, I'll check. Multiple endings. Nah, just each one was given its own little ending. It was nice. Nothing too crazy, just a nice little, like, here you go. That was before they had a proper story mode, and then I think in Dead or Alive 5 they added an actual story, and I was like, okay. look how many were in Dead or Alive 4. So 22 were playable characters, 16 were starting characters, and you unlocked 6. Oh, and they had some crossover things, so, well, not crossover, yes and no. You had Alpha 152, which was basically just like a clone of Katsumi, but in Dead or Alive 4 she was just looking like she was water. And then, yeah, there was a crossover with Spartan 458, which was to do with Halo, but it wasn't John, it was Nicole. It was the other Spartan. Okie dokie, Rain. Hope you have fun. But yeah, it was funny playing any form of a Spartan, really. It was humorous. Oh, I didn't know there was that there. That's why I never unlocked it. You could play as a Tengu, the bird creature. But you had to do time attack mode with all 21 characters. Ugh, no wonder I didn't touch it. Wow, that's unheard of. Do you want to know when this game came out? December 29th, 2005. But it's the date. December 29th? Who the hell releases a game towards literally the end of the year? What the hell? That's so late. I don't think anybody in this day and age would release a game near enough at the end of the year. Like, you can get ones leading up to the end of the year, but not literally a few days till New Year's down. That's insane. That they released something in 2005. Maybe. I remember having Dead or Alive 5, and then, yeah, they started breaking up. But Dead or Alive, out of all the fighting games, so out of, you know, Street Fighter, Tekken, Streets of Rage, King of Fighters, all those games, out of all of them, Dead or Alive was basically the fan servicey one. But they leaned into it hard with 5 and 6. Very much so with 5 and 6. Like, it was there with the older games, but it wasn't, like, too crazy. But now they're saying they're making number 7, and the teaser trailer already, yeah, probably signifies it's more of the same. It was cool though. It was one of those where you would fight in environments, and the environments actually did things of, like, you know, you could have things get in the way. If you were on sort of an elevated field, you could be knocked off and it would go down to another section, which would then change how the arena was. It was pretty cool. Because most fighting games didn't really bother with that half the time. It was just like, here's your arena, fight. But yeah, Dead or Alive was like, look, multiple arenas within one. Like, I remember actually when I think it was 5 I had at one point, and people wanted to play. I'm by no means the best at fighting games at all. But I was just very used to how Dead or Alive was. And I had a bunch of people play me. They didn't do very well. Considered me good. And I was like, I am not good, I can assure you. But maybe that just rubbed salt into the wound of them losing. Some people would try. Then they said that I was playing characters I was comfortable with. Because Hitomi was my favourite. And I knew how her moveset worked. So they wanted me to play as someone else. So I chose someone who I knew was overpowered very easily. They don't know that, of course. It's one of those where they're sluggish to use, but they're just very powerful. I still beat them. I wasn't really comfortable with that character, but I still beat them, because they were picking characters I knew how to use. So, yeah. I mean, people have to find a way to justify their losses when they get competitive. But it's fine. Eventually they didn't want to play because I kept winning. They were like, can't you lose on purpose? I was like, no. I was like, get good. It is. That's why I say I'm bad at fighting games, because I know I'm not good at fighting games. And the same with platformers. I know I'm not good with platformers. Like, I'm bad. With every game, I'm not very great. Like, I can't do parrying properly in a lot of action games. It's not my strength. I'm the kind to just, like, bash away at something and hopefully move forward. I do kind of learn, but yeah. Sometimes I just have to rely on tenacity. But I'm not very good at fighting games. Especially if they actually want you to play properly. I can't play properly. Just hit buttons and hope it works. And no, I'm not meaning I'm button bashing, although I kind of am. Like, I'm at least trying to do something that seems like, you know, a skill. Thank you for the follow. Thank you kindly. Yeah, I'm trying to do a skill. Like, I know roughly some combos and I try to do them, but they never kind of connect because I'm like, it expects you to do like a swivel thing with the stick, and I'm trying it, and I'm deeply trying, because you have to go like, you'd start in the middle, and then you basically have to do a G, so you're doing G and then hitting a combo with the buttons to do it, and I could never really get it. I don't know why. I was like, I'm doing the G thing, like, why is it not working? But I had fun with it. That's the important thing. Like, the reason I played it was because I actually had fun with it. Like, considering I don't usually get into fighting games, I was like, yeah, why not? Good times. It was still amusing though in a fighting game, because obviously Dead or Alive is Japanese. Everybody spoke Japanese, even though when you're selecting characters you can see what they actually are natively. Hitomi's German, by the way, and she speaks perfect Japanese. And I'm just like, this doesn't sound quite right. Yeah, just everybody speaking. Yeah, yeah, Hitomi's German. It has her down that she's German. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. It's been a long time, but I'm pretty sure it said she was German. I know she wasn't Japanese, I know that. But yeah, I get it. Like, the name, Hitomi, and she's German. And you're Indian. I don't know why. I like it when games, like, pick what they're natively good at speaking I don't mind if they want to speak Japanese, like maybe they've learned that as their second language or something, or third, but please, at least let them speak their native. Let's look up Hitomi. Oh, okay, she's a Hafu. My bad, she's Hafu. So, she debuted in Dead or Alive 3 as a replacement for Ain and Hayate, although they ended up popping in the next game. But she's half Japanese, half German, that's why. So, German father, Japanese mother. She's still German. True, but like, Hafus can still, if they've been taught it, like, speak Japanese plenty fine. Where was she raised, though? Yeah, it says here she was raised in southwest Germany. By her father. So, really, she should know German. She can more than know Japanese, that's fine. But she should know German. She grew up in Germany. No, there actually is a story for each character that goes through though. In 3, she just wanted to prove that she was good enough. In 4, her father fell ill, so she wanted the tournament money to help with financial stuff. I like that it says, forming a bond with Li Fang after a cabbage dispute. Amazing. In 5, she was training with Li Fang, faces INA. Oh god, Jiang Li. I remember. She was not happy with Jiang Li. But she lost to him? Arrgh. He's annoying, so understandable. He's the type of guy where he's like, ho ha ha, hoi wah ha, kind of man when he does his kung fu moves. And in 6, she continued her journey, participating in a treasure hunt with Li Fang, sparring with Honoka and others. Yeah. She was cool though. Very hard hitting and quite fun. Oh god, I forgot about like Dead or Alive Paradise. Or like Dead or Alive Extreme 2, which was basically a Paradise Island simulator thing. Those games were funny. Those games were so funny. Apparently, yeah, the series often gets criticized for over-sexualization, which, rubbish. Like, they're awesome ladies. What's the problem? Like, they have determination, they have things they want to accomplish and see through. How is that not good? Like, it's a game still at the end of the day. Hitomi was grand though. I always had good fun. Oops, I closed the wrong thing. Come here. I'm trying to think who else I really enjoyed except Hitomi. That is a question. Absolutely no idea. Like, I remember playing a bit of Katsumi a bit, but only because her moves were bloody easy to do, and she had a move where she could just spin, and most enemies couldn't deal with it. In a way, yeah. More of, think of a cartwheel spin though. And she would like just double down with smacking you with her legs as she does a cartwheel. So it's like brum brum. It's like whoa. And then you'd punch them as they're like bouncing on the floor. And do some other combos and low spinning kick. Good combo. AoE in a fight game. That's a hard thing to say. Maybe? Fun game though. I just hope they don't do what they've been doing with their games and split up a load of things. Like, if I was to look at Dead or Alive currently on the PC. See, there's two bloody versions. You've got Dead or Alive 6, and then you've got Dead or Alive 6 Last Round. Like, what's the what's the bloody difference? Yes. So if I go to Dead or Alive 6, it has 461 DLC. And only some of them are on sale. Oh, they do have all the season passes on sale. But again, that's like, what, 20 quid each? Jesus Christ. Okay, so the season passes. So the game itself, if it weren't on discount, well, just say you can get it for like a tenner. Each season pass, if you weren't to get it on sale, is mixed between what looks like 74 quid and 66 quid. And there's 4 of them. Jesus. How much does all the DLC cost? I'm curious. It doesn't say. Oh, I'd love to know how much it all is. That's truly insane. Yes, 461. Like, basically, they didn't make Dead or Alive 7 at the time, so they just kept making lots of DLC. So basically, there's so many outfits in the game. Like a redonkulous amount. A lot of outfits. A ridiculous amount. So, when this first came out, it was Dead or Alive 6. You had the main game, had a story, had all those things, characters, things you could unlock. A typical fighting game. And then, later on, they changed Dead or Alive 6 into Core Fighters. That's what it ended up being called, where you got a couple of the characters, they removed the rest, you had to pay to get the rest of the characters that you already had, and if you wanted the story, if you wanted to play the story again, you had to pay to unlock the story again. So this game that you had years later ended up changing into their technically free to play, because you can download Core Fighters for free. And yes, they all do cost money. All these outfits and... What is this anyway? So you'll have them add characters as well. I don't know how many they ended up adding in, but they added in characters, they added in a boatload of outfits, which there were so many different outfits. Oh, they even had one for like design contests. That's kind of nice. Lori, hello. Hello, hello. Yeah, they should have, but because they shifted over everybody to this new version, you couldn't unlock that stuff. That's what put me off playing Dead or Alive 6, honestly. Like, I enjoyed it, but I never went back to it because they just, when I did go back to it, they just removed everything. And I was like, I ain't paying for this. Again, that's ridiculous. But yeah, definitely microtransaction madness. Like, each outfit can range from £1.69 to £2.49. So, yeah. I imagine all the DLC would cost a pretty penny. Something close to thousands, probably, honestly. That's ridiculous. That's so expensive. Jesus. But they made money off of it because, you know. Oh, there was also the thing of the PC version of Dead or Alive was worse than the console version because, and I know it's a minor thing, but there were things of like, you know, characters would sweat, you know, if you had a level that was wet, the clothing would get wet, and, you know, there was that sort of detail. That's both on everyone, guys, girls, everybody. Cool effects everywhere. PC version didn't get that. They got like a downgraded version, which didn't really have any of this, and it was like, what? We'll see how they go with 7, but I'm not holding my breath considering how 6 is. Mad. Get away from that anyway. Whoosh. Oh, the PC version certainly can handle it. If they bothered. That was just the thing, if they bothered. They just didn't. It was very strange. I don't know why they did it that way. New music. I think you have some music on, Toby, because I don't have any music on. All I have is rain, and that is it. See if you've got something else open. Gotta love it when things line up. No. God, that would be finicky to keep switching tracks. Although, I think I can have multiple of this open. It seems to do that now, which it didn't used to before. which is nice. Although the bloody thing keeps popping up being like, it has an update, and I'm like, okay, update, and then it won't update. I even tried removing it and reinstalling it, and it's like, no, I can't update. I'm like, for God's sakes, what's wrong with you? That's amusing though. That's why I was like, new music? I was like, hmm? Then you mentioned you haven't heard this music before. I'm like, it ain't me. hours ear cupping. All the yawning. More. I am. I'll probably end in a minute. It was a pretty good length. It's alright. Again, I see a lot of people that do, 4 to 5 hours usually, so. But I'm gonna stick with what sort of works for me. Like, when I've actually had some rest, yeah, I can do around 3 and a bit hours, that's fine. Technically, yes, I can go longer, but my eyes always do get puffy, regardless. Hey, Big Chum. So yeah, especially on the weekday, a few hours is the most I can deal with. Yeah. Plus, it's easier to deal with games because it's split with the focus. Like, remember to check chat now and again, sure, but or like as much as you can do. But generally, it's gonna be like you playing the game and sort of reacting to things. Although a bit hard currently because I'm playing a game I'm used to, but yeah. And it's been a long time since I played Fatal Frame 2. However, this will be different anyway, because I'm used to the old one with the fixed camera angles, and this one's gonna be, well, different, so I imagine the encounters will sort of be the same of how they introduce them. But because it's a third person, it already changes things. Yeah, it'll be fun. 2 was like the good one of them all, like the supposedly the best one. It had a good combo. It's still gonna fall into the typical Fatal Frame thing of once you get used to the ghosts, you kinda like, oh okay, yeah. Technically I've never played 2. I've watched 1 and 2 and 3 be played. I played 4 on stream. That was number 4. And then 5 is the water one, which I played a little bit of, but it wasn't my cup of tea just because the thing that you get hit by, which is very hard to dodge in my opinion, does bloody dot damage. And the levels are a lot bigger, so just... however, I will... I'll try and play on hard mode, because I forgot that if you play on harder difficulties, you get different endings, as in like, you get additional endings, because you went through trials and tribulations, in a sense. So, with 4, I didn't get the true ending, because I didn't play it on hard. Which basically just means you get an additional scene after the normal ending, so to speak. So, I'll try to play 2 on hard, and cry that a ghost will probably take the majority of my health. But I'll try. So it may take me a while to get through. Or it'll be frustration rather than crying. I'll have to play expertly. But yeah, it'll be more, you know, more people in dire need of running lessons. But 2 was good. 2 had a good mix of like ghosts and sort of jokey things, in the sense of like ghosts that weren't necessarily like battle thingies, but they liked to play tricks on you. I remember 2 having a good number of hidey holes, because obviously it was set camera angles, like the old original Resident Evils. So you might spot something in the corner somewhere. I don't know how they're going to go about that, but yeah, you'd usually have a kid, like, you go up the stairs, you're used to going up, and the flipping kid would grab you, obviously, from underneath, while you're going up, and you're like, flipping kid, get off me! So, but all they're doing is playing with you. Like, they're not doing anything. The grab hurts you, but a little bit. And it's just like, god damn it. Help playing games to get you out of a slump. I know that feeling. At least picking. I feel like anything that you would go to pick, generally you might come up with an excuse. So just try and pick one and stay with it. And then if you're gonna wander off from it, just force yourself and be like, no. You as well. Have a nice rest of your day. I will go look for someone to raid. That is indeed a first thing to say. Thank you for being here, Laurie. Do take care and keep your liquids up. Pochi pochi. Yeah. The usual bunch are on around this time, which makes sense. go raid Sawyer. Because why not? So yeah, we'll go raid. I know that feeling. Hope you have a good rest of your day. Hope you all do. Yeah, Discord's there if you're interested. YouTube where my VODs are plonked on there. That's what you use if you are subbed. Use the one with the hearts if you are not. And yeah, thanks for being here. Thanks for the follows. Yeah, I should be carrying on with Stella on Tuesday. So hopefully we can either get through a massive chunk of that or maybe finish it. Who knows? Who knows? Trust you to get the first bugger at the end of the stream. That's an amusing one. Yeah, no one grabbed it. Anyway, do take care of yourselves. And yeah, bye bye. Bye bye.